Welcome everyone, Dylan Gemelli here today with a brand new video for you, and today I am just going to explain GW-0742, also known as Lipoline. Tons of people ask about this constantly. There's not a lot of information out there, not a lot of articles, not a lot of videos, so I tried to just give you everything I've got into this video when it comes to GW-0742. But before we get into that very quickly, I just got to give a big shout out and thank you to every last one of you that supports me, follows me, hits the like button for me, sends me emails, even talks shit to me. Thank you all for giving me the time of day. I do appreciate it. Hopefully if you have given me shit that you eventually see what I'm trying to do here and do like me. But look, everybody's not for everybody, but I appreciate you stopping by. Thank you, everybody. Please, if you haven't yet, subscribe, like, share, whatever you can do to help me get the channel built back up. I do appreciate it greatly. And so that being said, let's jump into this. Now, look, we know that Cardarine, GW-0501, whatever, it's one of the most popular SARMs out there, even though it's technically not a SARM, it's a PPAR agonist. But it's widely marketed and sold as a SARM, and it's categorized that way. Now, it's mostly used in cutting cycles, as we know. All right, that's the key thing and what makes it so popular and so widely used. Now, according to multiple trials out there, basically what it does in a nutshell, it increases your expression of genes responsible for fat catabolism in the skeletal muscle. So in simple terms, it basically stimulates your body to break down and burn fatty acids. Now, how is that relevant to 0742? Well, 0742 is actually said to be a much stronger version of GW than 501516 is. Now, it's a PPAR agonist as well. All right, same category, but it's sold as a SARM, as I've said. The chemical structure is very, very similar to Cardarine. It reports claim out there that it was actually only developed to increase the patent of Cardarine by GlaxoSmithKline, who is the one that manufactures it. Who knows? I don't like to get into conspiracy theories and all of that nonsense, but I don't think that's a far-fetched thought to say or throw out there. Now, people do claim that it is more powerful. Some say it's 200% more powerful. I have not personally used it yet, so I cannot confirm nor deny that. I don't have anybody close to me that I trust that's told me that, but I do have people that have told me that it's stronger. I would have to be the judge of that, of myself, and me being a long-distance runner, I can tell you if it's working or not. Trust me, I know when my runs get easier or more difficult, and I do know when something is helping me. I have ran, I'm going to be turning 40, and I've been running since I was like distance running or several miles since I was not even a teenager. So I know when something's helping me and something is not. But the difference in the structure is so minimal. So I can't see that it's like that huge of a difference, but I haven't used it, and it might be in people's head, but if they have the comparisons and the scenarios, I will always listen. Now, another problem is that the number of research on it's just low. All the studies on it are mainly with rodents, so it makes it kind of hard, and all SARMs have limited research, but these newer ones really are limited. So most of the other ones have been around a long time, and there's more anecdotal evidence where we have a lot of details, a lot of logs. But not a lot of people have used 0742 because they're just not familiar with it. And the few that do only have taken it for rather short periods of time because it just hasn't been around that long. It's easier to find now than it was, but it was not always the easiest. Now, the benefits of it are very, very, very similar to Cardarine. You're going to see that fat loss, because it's a PPAR agonist. You can expect, an increase when you're taking it because it's going to boost your metabolism and it's going to stimulate your body to burn fat for fuel. All right, it's going to turn to fat to burn it for fuel. Now, it also increases the oxidative capacity of your muscles. That's going to help you burn more calories. It breaks down adipose in different parts of the body, from the arms to the legs to the abdomen. It can be a really good compound for like bodybuilders that just want to shred a few pounds to improve muscle definition as well. I always use it for that. and it's going to help you achieve this without attacking any of your lean muscle gains. A lot of these things that burn fat, they're going to tear down muscle. The good thing about something like a GW-050116 and 0742 is they're not going to do that generally unless you're just completely under eating and doing all kinds of other bad things to yourself, and that's a totally different story. But in general, these will at least help to preserve some muscle as well, which is a huge deal. You're going to have increased endurance and energy levels, which is what we know the GW-050116 is well known for. A typical weight loss, diet plan, structure, whatever, it does leave you not feeling the best. There's a lot of fatigue, a lot of lethargy, a lot of bad moods with a calorie deficit, and it doesn't help your energy or it sucks because you're trying to burn fat. You need to work out hard, but when you're depriving yourself or cutting things down, then there's a lack of energy. So, this is nice because it helps keep your energy up. It works just like cardarine to increase your energy levels and endurance by turning fat into energy. It's, that's why it's so damn popular and so effective. Now, it's actually going to suppress glucose metabolism, and it's going to stimulate your body to tap into its fat reserves for energy. So when you have an increased oxidative capacity in muscles, it's clearly going to improve your stamina and your endurance as well. Now, it's very helpful for bodybuilders because energy and stamina are a priority, especially during cutting cycles. It's also going to reduce inflammation. All right, which is huge. It has some anti-inflammatory properties that can benefit your gut as well. Now, several studies have reported this, but scientists, they're still asking for more clinical information on it, which you're going to get with something that hasn't been studied over and over and over. Reduce of total cholesterol is another thing. Now, most of us know GW-050116, one of the original ideas for it was to help with cholesterol, which it does in a very strong way. I've seen it on a ton of blood work and even my own. And that's one of the things I stress to people that gets overlooked about it is its benefits on cholesterol and blood pressure. According to a study that I had read before, 0742 can reduce total cholesterol by actually reversing the transportation of cholesterol. So it actually reported that there was a decrease in the reabsorption of cholesterol in the intestines as well. All right. So this means most of the cholesterol remains in the digestive tract where it ends up actually getting excreted from your body. So there's a lot of benefits going on here. The researchers, if I remember correctly, they reported that 0742 works in a similar way as some other drugs that are actually used to treat high blood cholesterol. So it's kind of working in a similar fashion as a lot of cholesterol drugs. Now, one of the major drawbacks of that study that I was reading is that it was actually conducted by GlaxoSmithKline, who is the company that actually, where it's derived from. So that obviously is going to throw everything into question, and I do too. So, but that's what was said in that study. It supports just an overall healthy lipid profile, though, because it does increase the metabolism of lipids in your heart. And the same benefit has been observed with cardarine as well. It can also increase insulin sensitivity in rats, at least. Now, they took some diabetic rats and they fed them kind of like a higher fructose diet. Now, the group that was given the GW-0742 ended up with lower blood sugar than control, and insulin sensitivity was also increased. Now, there is also, from all of the reading, from what I've seen, it improves expressions of your type 2 collagen, and also indirectly, it's going to reduce cartilage wear and tear. It also promotes reverse cholesterol transport, and what that means is that it's moving cholesterol back to the liver, which should lower your total cholesterol levels as well. It's, as I said, it's going to reduce inflammation in the gut. It's going to enhance lipid metabolism. Now, potential side effects do remain a mystery because there's such a lack of enough clinical trials out there. If it's similar to GW-050116, we can pretty much assume that there's very limited side effects, involved in it. Now, there used to be reports about cardarine and cancer. I've got another video coming on that totally disproves that, and it's been disproven over and over and over. There's one thing about 0742 that concerns me personally. It was linked to cardiomegaly. Now, this is a condition, if you don't know, where the size of your heart increases. Now, it was actually observed in some animal studies in mice. Now, whether or not the same thing can happen to humans, we don't know. All right? We don't have enough human trials on it. But it does bring up a small cause to pause. Now, the mere possibility of developing that problem is scary, and I don't blame anybody. Now, the dosage in cycling should be very similar or identical to cardarine. The half-lives are all the same, 24 hours. I say 20 milligrams a day is perfectly fine. You dose it once a day. Try to keep it consistent every single day at the same time so that 24-hour half-life is hitting. I always tell people to try to dose it in the morning, whatever the case may be. It's just nice to get it done in the morning and then consistently do it every day in the morning. Look, it's very, very similarly structured to cardarine, which makes me and many others that I respect assume that it is fairly safe. I've never run into any issues with anybody on cardarine that had real cardarine. I've seen people that have had questionable cardarine that have weird side effects, and it's all down to quality. But in terms of use, and I've used a ton of it, I haven't seen a thing. The cardiomegaly thing scares me. I'm not going to lie, but I haven't had anybody report that. Now, I haven't had nearly the amount of years or people that have used it like regular cardarine. But like I said, with structures being similar, I wonder with those rats if there was other things involved, different dose. I don't know. But I do know that is the only thing that brings me any sort of cause with it. But it's not really proven, so that's really up to you. It's like anything else that I advise you. Don't abuse it. Don't run it too long. Don't run it too high. 20 milligrams a day, 12 to 16 weeks tops. Take at least 4 weeks off. You don't need a PCT if you're running just this, or, and I've talked about the SARMs with the least amount or no amount suppression. Watch that video, and that will give you another idea on it as well. Just look, don't abuse things, anything. And it doesn't have to, and we're not just talking about PEDs here. We're talking about everything. If you don't abuse things, chances are a lot lower you're going to have problems. If this, and we come to find out through studies, etc., that it does increase heart size, then I would say don't use it. But we don't know that at all. So I would say, it's really up to you what you want to do moving forward. I just haven't run into anybody that's used it that's had that problem. But, take that for what it is. So that being said, stay tuned for plenty more to come. Dylan Gemelli, signing off.